That Bay Area. What's up, Richmond, CA? There's some real stuff right here.
Add on coming down here.
It's Aji, man.
Add on.
Once upon a time.
Add on.
I knew how to rhyme.
Keep your at home. Me on. I mean, want to own. Me on type of flow.
That's all I got to say.
Me on.
All right.
Or me want to own. Me on type of flow.
What's going on, you guys? Third episode of the Add-On Podcast. How's it going? We're going to get right into it, man. Over the weekend, obviously, probably the biggest topic in sports, Dwayne Haskins passed away, sadly. And man, and I remember too, I was sleeping in real good on Saturday, and I heard, I slept right by my phone. I need to stop doing that. Stop sleeping so close to your phone because, the whole radiation thing. But anyway, I heard, this is the direct message from, Instagram. My DMs be dry. I don't get that much text. But and I got a text, and that's what woke me up. And it was one of my best friends, one of my good friends, and Axel. He actually told me the news. And it seemed like he's always telling me the news of something bad. Like I'm saying, because I still remember to this day, I was at work, and he DM'd me when Kobe died. And now he DM'd me a couple of years later when Dwayne Haskins passed, you know what I'm saying? And I look at the text, and I already knew it was bad for off rip, because when he said unreal RIP, so I already knew it was a big time NBA, NFL player. I knew it was somebody in sports that had passed away. I just didn't know who. But man, and then I clicked on the thing and I just shook my head, man. That's all I could do. I just shook my head, and I was just like, man. Like it's crazy, man. He's only 24 years old, and he played for my team. Obviously, in the Washington Commanders. Obviously, when he played for them, they were the Redskins, and then Commanders, and then now they're, they were the football team, Redskins football team, and then now Commanders. But yeah, anyway, he played for Ohio State, and just like, man, just obviously didn't work out in Washington, but I felt like he had a nice shot for sure. Obviously, with Big Ben retiring, to have a shot at being the starting quarterback for Pittsburgh. I know they had signed Trubisky, but I definitely thought, Haskins was, he was on his way to being fighting for that starting job with Trubisky, and it's just sad, man. I remember just, like I said, my friend texted me, woke up, saw the text, and just shook my head like, man, life is too short, man. It's just like, man. It makes you look in the mirror too, like as a normal person. Like I said, if big time athletes, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? We never supposed to question God and stuff like that. But it makes you look in the mirror and be like, man, if he can go, man, I better get my stuff together too, because I can go at any time too. You know what I'm saying? Stay ready. You stay ready, you gotta get ready. You know what I'm saying? One of my mom's favorite quotes too. So it's like, man. So RIP Dwayne Haskins, man. It's another tough one, man. Just, man, life is just too short, man. But like, obviously, I heard that he was crossing the highway or whatnot and got hit by a dump truck. I'm not too sure why he was crossing the highway or whatnot. I'm not too sure if he was coming back from a practice, or obviously that's not the smartest thing to do, but it's still unfortunate either way. Man. That's a trip right there, y'all. And even some people were, talking about Haskins and talking about his faults and like, no, he was a partier. He was this and that. Like, when somebody passes away, like I said, when Dwayne Haskins passed away, like, and when I got the text that, what I'm saying, and heard the news, I didn't think about him as a football player. I immediately thought of him as a person and thought of his family. That's what people tend to forget. Like, just because you're an athlete, like, they're a human being too. They have family too. I didn't think of Dwayne Haskins as a fool. I thought of that later on, but like, man, that's a tough loss for the league, tough loss for the Steelers. But I thought of like him and then his family, his wife, you know what I'm saying? I thought of them and how they would be reacting to all this, man, all this news, and just people just trip on social media, go straight to the negative stuff like that. Now is not the time to be talking about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have no respect. Shannon Sharp, said the same thing on his Instagram. Like, people just a trip, man, for sure. But yeah. Let's transition to the Lakers, man. Transition to the Lakers. Like I said, remember last podcast, I said we may make the play-in, we may not. They're officially out of the play-in tournament. Fired Frank Vogel like immediately after the game against the Nuggets. I believe they were playing the Nuggets. I believe so, right? And That's crazy, man. Like this Lakers, man. I don't know what they finished. They finished what, like 18, 19 games under 500, maybe more than that. I don't even know at this, but I lost count. But it was just unfortunate, man. Just unfortunate that the Lakers, with obviously three first ballot Hall of Famers, missed the play-in. And remember, the play-in term, that's a new. They just added that into the league. What, like 2 years ago, a year ago, or something like that. So I don't know. Obviously, excuse me. Back when Jordan was playing, back when Magic was playing, they didn't have no play-in tournament. It's 8 teams get in, but now they gave them another opportunity, and they still wasn't able to get to the play-in tournament. They finished with the 11th seed in the West. So it's just it's just sad, man. I don't know. Honestly, Lakers, that's embarrassing, man. That's straight up embarrassing. And what kind of ticks me off too is I was at work today too, and I saw a little DM, or not even a DM, just Bleacher Report and there's all Lakers stuff they posting about Russell Westbrook, bro, and how he was saying that he doesn't know the issue that Frank Vogel had with him. Like he didn't know what the issue was. Like, and I literally texted the same thing. I at Russell West. I'm like, bro, I rock with you, bro. You gotta start playing. He gotta stop playing dumb. Like you don't know what the issue is, bro. For one, you had, if I'm not mistaken, the most turnovers in the league. That's not helping the Lakers, right? You're not shooting efficient from three. You're even missing. Skip Bayless. I was watching Undisputed this morning. Skip Bayless was like saying how he missed 35% of his dunks. So if you inefficient from three, you hitting the top of the backboard. You're missing your layups. You're not playing defense. You got one of the worst hands in the league. You out of control. Like nobody's discrediting Russell Westbrook. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, most triple doubles in NBA history. He's a legend. One of the most athletic point guards of all time, maybe the most athletic point guard of all time. But we're talking about this season. Russell Westbrook is just not that guy, man. And I wish he would just stop playing dumb and acting stupid. Like he don't know what's going on. Like the reason he's lucky, man. Russell Westbrook lucky, bro. And like I said in the last podcast too, man, like if Russ wasn't playing for the Lakers, we wouldn't be hearing any of this. He played the exact same way in OKC, played the same way in Houston, played the same way with the Wizards. And now he's probably gonna get traded again. You know what I'm saying? People talk about going to the Hornets or the Pacers. I honestly don't see why he'd go to the Hornets. Honestly, that's a bad move. They already got LaMelo Ball. They got Rozier, right? And just a young talent over there. Why bring in Russell Westbrook? Unless Magic just wants another star or whatever over there. But I really don't see why he would, trade for Russell Westbrook or whatnot. It just doesn't make any sense. But I honestly, I feel bad for Frank Vogel. I feel bad for Frank Vogel, man. Definitely. And just, it's tough he had to go out like that, man. I don't primarily think it was his fault. I definitely don't think it was just his fault. I think it was more so just the players, like, getting old and not being able to play defense. Because, mind you, Lakers had the best rated defense the previous 2 seasons prior to this season, obviously. The year they won the championship in the bubble, they had the best rated defense. And even last year, they had the best rated defense, and then they lost in the first round. And this year, they plummeted, I believe, to 21st ranked in defense. So it's like, it's tough, man. It's tough, definitely. But, man, it just makes me laugh, like, for sure, man. Like, Lakers, man, that's just sad, bro. It's just completely sad, like, to completely miss the playoff, not even make the play in. And then you have the audacity to leak that information to Woj. Because, like I said, y'all, a lot of this stuff I be saying on my podcast, like, I learned it. I don't even need to look at it. I can just watch Undisputed. I've been watching Undisputed every day, probably since like 2016, bro. I'm not even lying to you. I don't watch any other podcast but Undisputed. I love Skip and Shannon. You know what I'm saying? Skip got some of the most bogus takes I've ever heard, but them two is funny for sure. I'll occasionally I'll listen to Stephen A. And I'll listen to First Things First because I like Chris Broussard and them dudes over there. But really, I listen to Undisputed every single day. Anything I need to know, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm not just gonna take it from them. I'm gonna verify myself too. But you know what I'm saying? They saying the same thing I'm saying too, man. It's just like that was kind of wrong for they both agreed, obviously, to Vogel. He had to. I said that in the last podcast. Vogel, he has to get out of there, but it's a way to do things. Like you gonna leak that information. They may have leaked that information that Frank Vogel was gonna get fired before the game even ended. You know what I'm saying? And then they keep asking him, like, let them enjoy his last game with the Lakers, bro. So honestly, I feel bad for him, but like I said, that was the right move to do, obviously. But it's just they could have waited till after the game. Rob Pelinka, JD Buss, whoever, they could have called Frank Vogel, be like, hey man, great season. Thank you for what you did for the Lakers, allowing us to win the championship. Helping us win the championship 2020. But we have decided to let you go. They could have, did it respectfully. Don't leak that information. He's gonna be fired. He don't even know that he's gonna be fired until after the game. Like, the whole world know before he know. Like, that's kind of messed up for sure for Frank Vogel. But he'll definitely get another job elsewhere. He's not like a completely great coach, but he's a decent coach for sure. He's a pretty good coach for sure, Frank Vogel. You know what I'm saying? Helped the Lakers win that championship in 2020 in the bubble. And he's just, like I said, unfortunate. But man, Lakers, man, honestly, I don't even know how I feel. I'm kind of losing the past 2 seasons. Like what I've seen from LeBron and AD. I'm kind of losing faith in them for sure. Like, just primarily not in their abilities. Like, I know what LeBron and AD can do when they're healthy, but that's the problem. Like, I'm losing faith in just their ability to stay healthy. Because, like, it don't really matter who you bring to the Lakers. You can bring any superstar. If them two core dudes can't stay healthy, they're not doing anything. And I was also listening to another thing, how the Lakers could have got DeMar DeRozan instead of getting Russ. Which I'm like, man, why didn't they do that? I mean, DeMar is not the best three-point shooter in the league, but he's for sure better than Russell Westbrook, and that boy's mid-range is out of this world. DeMar is tough. Like, I kind of took him for granted too a little bit, because I knew DeMar was tough even when he played for the Raptors, but I really just didn't really look at him like he's like that, because he kept getting torched by the Cavs every year. But obviously that's the Cavs. And then his time with the Spurs was average. He was up and down. Probably average around 20, 22 points per game, but it wasn't nothing too crazy. But when he come to the Bulls, at one point during the season, I thought he was going to win the MVP. Now it's going to be Yoko or obviously Embiid. And honestly, who should win MVP this year? That's a tough one, because, Joel Embiid did lead the league in scoring, and he's the first center to lead the league in scores since 2000, the year that Shaq won it. Shaq in 2000 was dominant as heck, man. That dude was it's unstoppable. So it's really how you look at it, because obviously the PER and all the major stats would probably go to Yoke, but what I'm saying, you got to look at what Yoke is doing without Jamal Murray and without Michael Porter Jr. Obviously Joel Embiid averages more points, but we'll see how that goes for sure, man. Rookie of the year, who can win Rookie of the year? Maybe Evan Mobley, maybe Jalen Green, maybe K. Cunningham. I don't know, man. It's a lot up for the debate, but man, the Lakers is just a complete disappointment, man. Disappointment, man. This is ridiculous. I don't know what they're gonna do next year. Like, I don't know if they keep Russ and AD and not Russ and AD, LeBron and AD, and move on from Russ. That's something I feel like they gotta do. But man, Baker Mayfield is one of those dudes too. In speaking of the NFL, back to the NFL, with, like, obviously rest his soul, Dwayne Haskins. But I mean that, not to say that even if Dwayne, like, obviously didn't pass or anything like that, would that have to do anything with Baker? But I'm still trying to figure out what Baker gonna do, man. Like, the Browns got to get rid of him. They signed another quarterback the other day as well, along with obviously Deshaun Watson, with $230 million, like the most guaranteed money in NFL history. You got Rodgers re-signed. You got Russell Wilson. You got all these different quarterbacks, but we still waiting on Baker Mayfield. Like, Baker Mayfield, he's not a top 5 quarterback. He's not a top 10 quarterback. Baker Mayfield's like the middle of the pack. He's probably somewhere within like the 15, 17 range. But he's a decent quarterback for sure. And I would, no disrespect to, matter of fact, I ain't even going to speak on that. I ain't going to say nothing negative about my team. We just going to see how that goes with the Commanders. But Baker Mayfield, I'm still seeing where he going to go, man. Was he going to go to Seattle, or is he going to go to, obviously, Pittsburgh for sure? Because, I mean, I think he's a better quarterback than Mitchell Trubisky. And then Seattle don't got a quarterback at all. And I don't understand why the league won't give another shot to Colin Kaepernick. That's something I don't get. That dude was, like, incredible. His, like, 2012, 2013, got to a Super Bowl and almost got to another Super Bowl again. his legs, his arm. He's doing all this workout footage, but nobody's giving him a shot. Like, and they just completely blackballed him for what he believed in. And I thought honestly, once the whole George Floyd thing happened, I thought we were kind of changing the narrative, and people were kind of like seeing why we were taking a knee all in the first place. It wasn't any disrespect to the flag. It was about racism and obviously the police brutality against blacks and unarmed people, stuff like that's what they were kneeling for. It was nothing against the flag at all. But still, this many years later, Colin Kaepernick is just at this point he's probably never going to get a shot ever again. And I don't know why the Seahawks didn't give him a chance. I don't know why any team didn't really give him a chance. Cause, like, you see the workout footage, you see how good he was before he took the knee and decided to do that. But they just completely blackballed him, and I don't think he's ever going to get a shot again, which is unfortunate for Colin because he was nice, man, for sure. He was nice for sure. He had an arm, strong arm. He definitely had the legs. You know what I'm saying? I remember watching him against the Packers like in 2012, 2013, torched them. He was, man, came so close to beating the Ravens in the Super Bowl too. He was that close to winning them, man. But Joe Flacco that year was insane. Him and Jacoby Jones, and I think that was Ray Lewis last year too. So, man, it's just unfortunate, but man, for sure, definitely Baker though. I'm gonna keep an eye out for sure for him, and kind of see where he ends up landing in the NFL because it's like he's really that only quarterback that's kind of just looking around and like, hey, everybody else got paid, everybody else got signed. What y'all doing with me? Because like I said, they're gonna have to sooner or later. It's gonna have to cut him. We're gonna have to just cut bait with Baker, and he's gonna be able to choose to where he's gonna go. He's got to get his money either way. So it's like they were running out of time. It just because you can't have Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield and some of the other quarterbacks on your team. It's just not gonna happen. And it's crazy too for him being a number one overall pick. So I wouldn't even necessarily say he's a bust because I mean he did get to a playoff game, win a Super Bowl. I think he just needs a fresh start. I think what kind of messed Baker Mayfield up. You can argue it was Odell, but I think more so what ultimately messed up Baker and why he didn't get more success than he did, even though he did win a playoff game. That was like Cleveland's first playoff victory in a minute for sure. So I think what messed him up was just him having so many head coaches early on. You know what I'm saying? Like bouncing around from coach to coach. I think that really messed him up and kind of his rhythm. And then obviously the Odell thing happened, but I don't blame that on Odell. Like it's just like, he missed some throws. Odell missed some passes. I think it was like a 50-50 and just obviously when Odell did go down that 11-game stretch that Skip Bayless talks about, that was valid, but it's like, you got to be more realistic too and kind of, just is Baker really that guy? Is he really that guy? Is he really that guy? And that's just something you got to look at. And honestly, like I said, Baker Mayfield, he's an average quarterback. He's all right. He's not that guy. He's average, but that's why I think they signed Deshaun Watson. Even with all the lawsuits, Deshaun Watson is a top 3 quarterback in the league right now. No doubt. No doubt. My team, though, Commanders, man, it's anybody's ball game in the NFC East, though, I feel like. It's anybody's ball game. Obviously, I wanted Russell Wilson. Who wouldn't want him? But he ended up picking Denver. And I actually made a video on my other channel, Emmanuel R&D, and I was like, man, please don't get Carson Wentz. But I was like, I'm gonna give him a chance, give him a shot. I know that he went back with his former coach and with the former coach with the Eagles when he went back to the coach, and it still didn't work out. But listen to Carson speak in the press conference and just seeing, I just feel like he's rejuvenated, and Ron Rivera is a great coach. You know what I'm saying? Great leader. He can inspire people and stuff like that. So it's like, man, I'm just kind of having an open mind, being optimistic about it, and maybe something will happen. But it's really anybody's ball game in the NFC East, man. I'm not too scared of the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. They lost another receiver. Who they lose? Amari Cooper. That was a big loss for them. One of the best route runners in the league, but people just disrespecting him, saying he's inconsistent. But a lot of receivers are inconsistent, you know what I mean, these days. But except for a couple like Kupp and Devontae, but we know they top 2 in the league. Yeah, the whole NFL this year was just crazy, man. Devontae to the Raiders. You got Von Miller. Where'd he go again? I honestly forgot where that dude went, but the Chargers signing They deals. It's so many. I can't even remember off the top of my head right now how many people went to different teams this year. It was ridiculous, man. Like this league, the AFC, man, with the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Broncos, all those teams in there, man. It's gonna be exciting, man. In the AFC, definitely. It's gonna be crazy for sure. The Chargers got Tom Brady coming back, or what, like his 22nd, 23rd season, something like that. It's gonna be something else this season, man, for sure. So I don't know where my Commanders gonna stack up against everybody. I'm gonna just worry about the NFC East. The Giants, I don't fear at all. Obviously, Daniel Jones is not that guy. Jalen Hurts is getting better. I respect Jalen Hurts as a leader, but his accuracy is not always there. In our defense, man, like I said, Chase Young, he got hurt last year, and he wasn't having that good of a year even before he got hurt. I'm telling you right now, Chase Young will be in the defensive player of the year conversation next year. That's how hungry he's gonna come back. Because from having a great rookie season to having a disappointing second season, I already know Chase Young finna do his thing. Montez Sweat finna do his thing. Jonathan Allen, Terry McLaurin, and man, I really hope Carson show up because Terry is like one of the best receivers in the league, but nobody talk about him because he's had so many different quarterbacks. Alex Smith, you know what I'm saying? He's had Taylor Heineke, Dwayne Haskins at one point. He had Kyle Allen. Like, he's having all these different quarterbacks. Nobody's talking about Scary Terry, but that dude is a problem, man. Logan Thomas. I'm glad we brought back McKissick. So we got some dudes, man, for sure. We'll see how it wraps it all together. Hopefully Carson, I feel like if he can just, because you look at his numbers, like Carson Wentz last year, what he averaged, like, not what he averaged, what he throw, like 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. What messed him up was, in the key moments, Carson Wentz was just, he would do some boneheaded play, you know what I mean? And just fumble the ball. Or we can't have that on Washington, man, for sure. Because we will bench you and put Taylor Heineke in the game in a quick second, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because what Taylor Heineke did for us last year was pretty average. But, I mean, from him not being, a top caliber dude who, prior to even getting re-signed, he said he was sitting on his couch. He didn't even expect to start this season or last season. And he got the opportunity. So hopefully Carson Wentz can kind of, I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to ever get back to his MVP form, but if we can just get half of that in him, I don't even care necessarily of the pick number. I don't even care if this upcoming season, Carson Wentz has more interceptions this year, this next season compared to last season. I just care if when he throws those picks, it's in the first quarter. Like, just don't throw it in key moments in the fourth quarter when we trying to win the ball game. Hold on to the football then. Come on. They starting to call him Commander Carson. I can't call you that yet. I got to see something. But it's going to be interesting to see, man, what my team can actually do. Because it can, like I said, it's going to be anybody's game. It's going to be anybody's game in the NFL this next season. It's going to be exciting to watch, man. So many great young quarterbacks. Man, and nobody's even talking about nobody's even talking about Joe Burrow. Nobody's been talking about Joe Burrow. This dude just went to the Super Bowl last year, but everybody's talking about, all the new teams, Herbert, you know what I'm saying, with the piece they added to the Chargers, you know what I'm saying, and the Raiders, he going, Devontae Adams teaming up with his college teammate Derek Carr, Russell Wilson to the Broncos, new system. Everybody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about some of the other dudes, you know what I'm saying, that's in the mix of, and Patrick Mahomes, he's going to have something else to prove, man, because since that Super Bowl he lost, he's been pretty disappointed the past, since the Super Bowl that he won, he's been a pretty disappointing player, over the past couple of years, losing like that to Brady, then getting bounced out the playoffs, multiple years. So it's like Patrick Mahomes going to have something else to prove too, and him losing Tyreek is not going to be good as well, because Tyreek, one of the best receivers in the league, probably the best deep threat in the league. So losing him is going to be tough. Somebody else going to have to step up on the Chiefs for sure. The Chiefs getting who they get, Juju Smith-Schuster. I texted one of my friends too. She like a Chiefs fan, and I texted her like, man, y'all lost Tyreek Hill. She's like, I'm not tripping. Juju better than Tyreek. And I just sat there and started laughing. Like, no disrespect to Juju Smith-Schuster, but ain't no way in heck he better than Tyreek Hill. Come on now. This dude more known for his TikTok seem like now than what he be doing on the field. Like, I'm not even going to hold you. Juju got to show me something.
for sure. Because, like, you know, I haven't seen nothing from Juju since, like, his first 2 seasons in the league. You know, he's been slacking the past couple of years. I don't know if it's just because of injuries or Big Ben ain't throwing the ball down the field like he used to. Obviously, he retired now, but obviously, you know, whatever the case may be. But, yeah, Juju got to show me something for sure because he ain't better than no Tyreek. And I don't know, maybe she was just saying it. Maybe she was trolling or maybe she was just trying to say that just to cope with her madness. But I remember I didn't even text back when she said that. I was like, nah, ain't no way in heck. Juju better than Tyreek. Like, come on now. That dude Tyreek is a dog, bro. Like, his speed, his size, his agility. He's only, like, people forget he's only about 5'10". And you let him get out in open space, you is not catching that dude. You is not catching him. Man. Man, oh man, oh man. But yeah, interesting year, man, for sure. Oh yeah, and Tiger Woods too, man. Tiger Woods, man, coming back obviously for the Masters. I think he finished like 47th or something like that. But it's still amazing though to see Tiger Woods. And I actually got a book sitting on my desk right now, a Tiger Woods book. It's a #1 New York Times bestseller. I haven't even touched yet. I need to research and do more about this dude. I know he's one of the greatest golfers of all time, and definitely had a stretch where he just won every major there was. But you know, from him almost, like I said, going that fast, nearly losing his leg, and then a little bit over a year later, he's playing for the Masters. That's incredible, dude. That's incredible. And what surprises me about Tiger is if you look at how many injuries he's had as a golfer, he's had as many injuries or maybe even more than like a football player would have. Like somebody that's like the actual contact sport is golf. When I think of golf, I think, you know, old people playing it, you know what I mean? Just kind of, you know, it ain't really injury prone, but this dude Tigers has had a lot of injuries, you know what I mean? And a lot of them hasn't been, you know, it's been his fault, obviously, because obviously driving like that was his fault. I don't know if he fell asleep at the wheel or I don't know, if whatever the case may be. And then some of the other injuries too wasn't in the actual midst of him golfing, but man, for him to just come back to the Masters, man, it's just definitely golf, baseball, hockey. Those are some of the sports I would definitely want to tap into for sure. And hopefully I'll have somebody on this podcast and that's a little bit more knowledgeable about that, can drop knowledge to the add on some knowledge to me for sure. Because honestly, I'd rather watch golf honestly than baseball. I don't know, it's just something about baseball I just you know, don't really fall in love with, you know what I mean? But like I said, I probably watch tennis more than I watch baseball. It's just maybe because I don't know. For me, it's just it depends on the day for sure. But man, that wraps it up though, you guys, man. That wraps it up. Feel free to hit that subscribe button to the add-on podcast. Obviously, it will be on Spotify, Apple Music soon. You know, I keep saying that. It will be on there. It's going to be on there for sure. The link will be in the description to my other channel, Emmanuel R&D, the most versatile channel on YouTube. And yeah, y'all can hit me up in the DM. Obviously, my Instagram will be in the description. Y'all may be able to hop on this podcast with me. You know what I mean? Definitely want to ask people some questions for sure. I feel like this is going to blow soon, man. I definitely think so. So I'm just being me, talk about stuff I want to talk about. Nothing's planned out or anything like that. It's just like whatever I'm, want to talk about. You know, it'll be planned, every now and then. Obviously, if I have a guest on, I gotta, think of questions I want to ask them and stuff like that. Because I definitely want to. That's really what I like to do, asking people questions and just kind of giving their perspectives and stuff like that. And for sure, going back and forth debating with people on my podcast. But it'll happen for sure, man. But yeah, make sure you guys go in the description down below. Subscribe to my other channel. Emmanuel R&D, very versatile channel. And yeah, man, I'm going to see y'all next episode.